Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most remarkable relationships in modern history, the deep and enduring friendship between the United States and Canada. How did these two vast nations, born from the same empire, become the closest allies on Earth? Let's explore the story of the northern neighbors. Our story begins not with friendship, but with conflict. In the early days, the US and British North America, which would later become Canada, were adversaries. The American Revolution saw loyalists fleeing north, shaping a distinct Canadian identity. Then came the War of 1812, a defining conflict for both sides. Americans saw it as a second war of independence, while for Canadians, repelling the invasions was a foundational moment of national pride, proving they could stand on their own. For decades after, a sense of cautious distance remained. But as the 19th century progressed, the practicality of cooperation started to outweigh old rivalries. The Rush-Bagot Treaty of 1817 demilitarized the Great Lakes, a groundbreaking step that laid the foundation for the world's longest undefended border. This wasn't just a line on a map. It became a symbol of trust. As trade grew and people moved back and forth, the economic and cultural ties began to weave the two nations together. By the turn of the 20th century, the relationship had transformed. Shared language, similar legal and political systems inherited from Britain, and a growing wave of immigration and trade created a shared North American identity. When World War I erupted, Canada joined the fight alongside Britain, and when the US entered later, they found themselves fighting for the same cause on the world stage. This shared sacrifice forged a new level of mutual respect. The true test, and the moment that solidified this alliance, was World War II. From the very beginning, President Franklin D. Roosevelt and Prime Minister Mackenzie King had a close personal and political bond. They understood that the defense of North America was a shared responsibility. The Ogdensburg Agreement, signed in 1940, created the Permanent Joint Board on Defense, a formal military alliance that continues to this day. This was a monumental step, committing the two nations to each other's security indefinitely. Throughout the war, the collaboration was unprecedented. The Alaska Highway was built through Canadian territory to supply the Pacific Front. Scientists from both nations worked together on critical projects. Soldiers fought side by side in Europe. This intense cooperation, born out of necessity, created an unbreakable bond of trust and shared purpose that would define the post-war era. As the Cold War dawned, the US and Canada stood shoulder to shoulder once again. They were founding members of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, extending their defensive pact to include Western Europe. But their unique continental defense partnership deepened with the creation of NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, in 1958. This integrated command, with American and Canadian personnel working side by side in Cheyenne Mountain, Colorado, and other facilities, is a powerful symbol of their intertwined destinies. For decades, they have jointly monitored the skies and space above North America, a level of military integration virtually unheard of between two sovereign nations. Beyond defense, the economic relationship is the bedrock of this friendship. The US and Canada are each other's largest trading partners. Every single day, billions of dollars worth of goods and hundreds of thousands of people cross the border. This isn't just about big corporations. It's about integrated supply chains, where a car part might cross the border multiple times before ending up in a finished vehicle. This deep economic entanglement means that prosperity in one country is directly linked to prosperity in the other. It's a symbiotic relationship that supports millions of jobs on both sides. And then there's the cultural connection. From Hollywood movies starring Canadian actors to American tourists visiting Banff and Canadian snowbirds heading to Florida, the cultural exchange is constant and fluid. We share sports leagues, the NHL, MLB, NBA, and a love for many of the same things. This shared popular culture creates a sense of familiarity and kinship that transcends politics. We understand each other's jokes, watch each other's shows, and often, it's hard to tell where one culture ends and the other begins. Of course, like any close relationship, it's not always perfect. The US and Canada have had their disagreements over trade, environmental policy, and foreign affairs. Think of disputes over softwood lumber, or different approaches to international conflicts. But what makes this relationship so special is how these disagreements are managed. They are handled with diplomacy, respect, and an understanding that the underlying friendship is too important to sacrifice. They are family squabbles, not battles between rivals. The mechanisms for dialogue are always there, and both sides know they need to find a solution. So, from a history of conflict to an alliance forged in fire and maintained through shared values and interests, the US and Canada have built something truly unique. It's a relationship built on trust, a shared border that is a bridge, not a barrier, and the simple fact that they are and always will be the best of neighbors. It's a model for the world of how two nations can live in peace and prosper together. What do you think is the most important aspect of the US and Canada relationship? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I love reading what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration into history. We'll see you in the next video.